All right, before we get too far,
Just
to let you know, there's a little content warning on this
Trigger
episode.
warning.
This is the last episode of season 1, and it has the last episode of season 1, kind of an oranges story. Content warning.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah. Maybe not like the green kind.
What flavor do you like?
Yeah.
This warning has oranges, but also later on we talk about the events of 9/11, September 11th, 2001, as it relates to my move to New York. So now you know. Enjoy the rest of the show, and thanks for being here.
I'm like a wildberry alien.
Why are you laughing?
I have a tendency to avoid podcasts.
There was dust. And then from dust, somehow we're here in New York City.
So like the optimist in me moved us to New York with no jobs.
Speaking into
Trying to
microphones
Yeah.
about how it's scary to be alone in the dark.
Let's go. Here we go.
Okay, so we're recording.
We're recording, Cydne.
Welcome to your podcast, Alan.
Ellen, taste test.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's so nice to be here. Welcome to the podcast, Cydne.
Oh, thank
you. Want to
you.
introduce yourself?
Oh, hi, my name is Cydne.
As of yet, unnamed.
Oh, so we're like really recording. Well, can we do less mouth sound?
Is that your podcast voice?
I'm the dog trainer
The dog trainer.
and
dog
also
trainer.
podcast trainer.
Yes, you're the podcast trainer.
I'm more of a behind the scenes person. I need you to say the name of your podcast, please.
They just keep talking.
And the tagline.
They just keep talking and they don't stop talking.
And then what happens?
They never introduce the show. They just keep talking. And I think that's how it ends too. They just keep talking and they don't stop talking. They never introduce the show. They just keep talking. And I think that's how it ends too.
That's what I've heard.
That's what you've heard.
Ding, 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 ding.
But here we have your voice.
Someone had to interview you.
Well, no
so
one
here
has
we are.
to do that.
No, it must be done.
It must
be done.
I thought we were having conversations.
That's like a lot of pressure. Let's stick with the interview and see if conversation flows. The coffee is good, thank you.
It's from Ecuador. Ooh. Thanks, Mom.
One of the many motherlands. Oh yeah, let's talk about all your motherlands. I wanted to write this down.
My motherlands?
Yeah, because we mentioned this the other night. So Ecuador.
Yeah, my mom was born in Ecuador, in Guayaquil, and then she moved to Venezuela.
So where do you come into the picture? Where were you born?
Where was I born?
Yeah, you were born somewhere else.
American Samoa.
Yeah. That's a motherland for you. So I'm going to write that down.
Motherland. American Samoa. I was born in an island in the South Pacific between Hawaii and Australia. Mm-hmm. And my parents were out there doing like almost like a pre-Peace Corps type of thing. Like,
Okay.
So they were teaching kids how to read and write in English.
And then you got a touch of the old Irish right here.
A touch of the old Irish. My
Yeah.
grandmother, Grandma Me June, is how I wanted to say it. Grandma Me June. Grandma June. She was always Grandma Me to me. She was doing research on like our history, and she was tracing us back to the original Minutemen. Now I haven't seen this work.
What's a Minuteman? Minutemen.
The Minutemen were the soldiers, I think, some of the first ones to respond to the British invasion. And I forget why they called them Minutemen, but
Oh,
they were like
we'll Google it later.
in the square.
We love to Google.
We love to Google. Thanks, Anna, for teaching us the benefits of Google. Anna has been such a star of this show, and I'm just so pleased to have had like their interview, their conversation to just like splice
yeah.
throughout the whole thing and just pick up little gems of wisdom.
Very soon you cannot hide, and that is confronting.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born
so-
in American Samoa.
So we got Irish, Ecuador, American Samoa. Where's your dad from?
Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida. We're traced back to the English, and but from a part of England that was heavily populated by Vikings. Ooh. And I think that's where the Enden part comes from.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
in the Fessenden.
Fessenden. I think
Okay.
that might be like a son of or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know. I should.
Okay, so your dad's from Florida, which brings us to your immigration story from Florida to New York.
Oh my God, we're not doing the immigration story. Why are you calling it an immigration story?
That's your immigration story. That's how you got to New York. Listen, my family came over on a boat
Yeah.
You came up from Florida.
I really wish she hadn't called it an immigration story. People have immigration stories. I have them.
My immigration's how I got to. So I was, doing a play in Minneapolis. And
We jumped right out of Florida so fast. We just didn't even start in Florida. We started in Minneapolis.
Let's see. No, I had, here's this, because the story is I left Florida to go do a play in Minneapolis. And at that time, I had given up my apartment and was maybe partially on the run from the law, as you do in Florida.
Yes. We will discuss this more.
I don't know that we should.
Oh, gosh. I love it.
There's so many things I feel like I should just start consulting a lawyer for all of a sudden. So I bought my first cell phone. It was this brick of a cell phone, and I bought that, and I drove up to Minneapolis with leaving all my stuff. I think I left some stuff at a friend's dad's place. It might still be there. Who knows? But I left everything, went to do the show in Minneapolis, and I ended up co-directing a play called The Buddha Prince with my friend Mark Keller. I assistant directed and starred in as the Dalai Lama. And as soon as it was over, I drove back to do a movie in Orlando, and was one of the reasons I kept my hair long during the Buddha Prince, because I was like, I gotta go play this escape con in a movie after this. It's so funny. So I'm not trying to make this too long, but I did that movie for 2 weeks. They put me up in a hotel, or 2.5 weeks, and then I was like basically done with the movie. And things do, right in the moment where I had nowhere to go, I was like, oh no, I have nowhere to go.
Which was a monumental fucking alignment of the universe.
And I was like driving, thinking I'm going to have to go live with my parents, which just feels a weird thing to do at this point in my life. I was feeling like panicky, like, oh no. And then my friend, Erin Mahoney, and her sister, Lori Mahoney, the Mahoney sisters, were like, we're driving up to New York.
Alignment.
And I was on the phone call with my friend Joy,
of the universe,
who was like a high school friend who I had a big crush on. Joy had said I could come stay on her futon, which at the time, futons were pretty like exciting. So I said, wow, you got a futon? Amazing. I'm going to come stay there because it's a couch, but then it folds down to a real bed.
Just wait till you meet a Murphy bed. Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee. I love a Murphy bed. I've never slept on one, but I've seen it. So basically, invited to go on a ride with the Mahoney sisters, and they're like pack light. I bring like one pillow and like a suitcase or like in a backpack, right? I was like, and then I went up to North Florida and stayed for like a week, and just went to the beach with Erin.
Is that one of the Mahoney sisters?
One of the Mahoney sisters, Erin, and it was like a devastating time in my life, because like here I was at the beach. I didn't like the beach because I grew up in Florida, so I sort of got tired of it. But here I was like appreciating it, knowing like I'm moving away from this beautiful.
Farewell
so I'm going
beach.
somewhere where I don't know where I'm going. I just felt intense like dread and angst of like what was I doing, like going up to New York with basically nothing. I was just like, I'll just find something. I'm gonna go act.
Yeah.
And then we drove up from Florida to North Carolina. It's a long drive to North Carolina is where the next
Stop was.
is.
Yeah.
In North Carolina is this craziest moment, because we are driving, and up ahead of us, and this is June, so this is before my birthday in 2001.
Okay.
It was so beautiful. I was thinking, oh, so beautiful here. We're cruising along, and then up ahead of us, this car out of nowhere just spins. So the spin out happens, right? This car cools over. I think it flips maybe or something like that. So we all, like, a bunch of cars stop, and this woman gets out of the car, and she's immediately like, did you see that car swerve in front of me? And we're like, no, ma'am. I didn't say, it's just like, But because, like, I think that woman must have, like, fallen asleep or something.
Right.
Because there's no cars around her.
Right.
But then this young little kid, little chubby-ish kid, and he's got like a tidy whitey, a tank top on, and he just starts yelling, "Precious, Precious!" And apparently there's some like dog that has run off into the woods named Precious. And I was just like, oh my God. And we're like, where's Precious? So everyone's like sort of looking for this dog, and there's like this feeling of like maybe that dog is running for its life right now because it just survived this crazy accident. And eventually we just got on the road, and then the rest of the trip, me and my honey sisters were just being like, Precious. There's a while that story was like the funniest story that ever happened to me, and now I'm like,
it's the voice. It's the Precious.
Precious. Yeah, it does help to have a Southern boy just screaming for
in
his
his
dog.
tidy whities, screaming for his dog.
Precious.
I hope they found Precious.
I do think he was reunited, or the Precious was reunited with the
You have
family.
no idea, but I like that you've created this happy ending in your brain.
I'll check with the Mahoney sisters, which is the old-fashioned way of Googling.
Get them on the horn right now.
Get them on the horn. So that takes us up to
New York.
because
No?
I'm gonna go stay with my friend in Philly.
Yes,
right?
we're getting some more states in this story.
So
I
we
love
get to like Philadelphia at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and we're at some gas station, and I'm calling Joy, and I call her cell phone, no answer. I call her home phone, no answer. It's 4 a.m. I think I let them know that I was on my way, but they were supposed to be at a party, so they were gonna be up, but they were not answering their phone, and they did not answer the phone.
You're not staying
the Mahoney
tonight.
sisters look at me and are just like, can we just leave you here at the gas station
Oh no.
at 4 a.m. in Philly? Plan was to take the
stay
summer,
on the futon.
work at a restaurant with Joy, make
Yeah.
some money.
Yeah. So did you get left at the gas station like Precious the puppy?
It's just Lori and Aaron just go, Precious, Alan, Precious, Alan. Eventually, I'm like, please don't leave me in Philly. But Lori is super resistant to bringing me to New York because I have nowhere to go. And they've already suffered through.
We simply cannot bring you.
Like, she's like, Aaron's going to be staying with us, no job, whatever. We can't have you also staying with us. And we just had someone stay with us too long, never find their way out. And I was like, I understand. But
Just leave me at the gas
please
station.
don't leave me here like at 4 a.m. in Philly. Like, I don't know anything about Philadelphia. I've got no car, whatever. I'm like, I don't know what to do. There's no Uber back then. I was like,
You were still using the burner phone, for crying out
it's
loud.
on the burner phone. And so I convinced them to let me go. And like all my friends who lived in New York had already moved here. I was like reaching out to see like if they had anything. Finally, my friend Emily is like, you can stay at my couch. I've been staying with my boyfriend a lot, so when I'm not there, you can stay in the bed. I was like, amazing.
Emily, the real MVP
She's
of the move to New York.
Absolutely. Huge MVP. Made me feel safe. And then Jason eventually moved up, and we rented a place. And that's
you had arrived.
And I had arrived.
Yeah. Okay, so
right.
before we move on to now your stories of New York, now that we have reached New York, are you sure you don't want to go back and talk about why you were on the lam in Florida?
Do I want to talk about why I was on the land?
I mean, you
in
don't
Florida?
have to, but I just wanted to give you that opportunity one more time. Okay, we'll get that story out of you later. Anyway.
I mean, it's not a super story. I stole my car back from a company that went around to the local apartment complexes and towed all the cars that were not permitted to be in there.
Oh.
And so I was visiting a friend.
I don't even consider that being on the lam, Alan.
Well, I don't even know if they were ever looking for me, but
But you were nervous.
I was nervous.
You were 26 and you were nervous. Did you bring wire cutters? Like how heisty did this have to get your car back?
Okay, so it wasn't super heisty, right? I had my friend drive me to the lot where they had towed it. Mm-hmm. Everyone was familiar. And I saw my car there, and I went to go pay for my freaking car. And this is right before I was going to move, right? This is right before I was going to Minneapolis.
Okay.
So I was like, and I'd been like waiting tables at the Olive Garden, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And this is really infuriating, but here I am. I'm ready to pay whatever monies I have to get my car back because I need my car. And they're not open. They're closed. And then I'm just like, I see my car and I have my keys, and I'm just like,
Coming for you, baby.
yeah. So I go start walking towards my car, and this guy is like moving some other cars around, whatever. So I grab my car, I get in, and I don't tell my friend I'm doing anything. I just
get it.
instinctually walk. And I start to drive away, and the guy tries to pull the gate shut on me, and I think like he catches the back end or something like that. So maybe knocks the gate or something. But I just drive around. I was like, ah,
This is mine.
and I drove away. And then a little bit later, I'm like, oh fuck, I left my friend there.
Wait, you did not.
And now like she's trapped with like because the guys now shut the gate, right? So I go back and I park across the street at the gas station. And I walk across. I go, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And she's like, what are you doing here? Like, what did you just do? I was like, I don't know.
Stole
I just
my
acted.
car.
She's like, well, I told the guy like I didn't know you. I just met you at the place.
Love
And
it.
I was like,
Picked this
okay.
random hitchhiker up. He was like, bring me over here.
She's
So
like,
I
but now
did.
he won't let me go. I was like, that's so crazy.
Wait, your friend was still trapped on the other side of the gate?
Yeah, I was like inside the place again talking to her. I was like, this is the most crazy thing. And then I ran away again because she's like, get out of here. And then they called the police. So I went to another friend's house and hung out there for a little bit. And I was like, oh my God. So the whole 8 hours I'm driving up out of Florida, I'm like, please don't get pulled over. Please don't get pulled over. There's a, who knows what's out on you,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And then even all the way up to Minneapolis, I'm like, oh, what if they've sent out an APB?
They don't care
For
that much.
the guy who stole his car back. So I did have a lawyer I had been working with before then. So I called him and he's like, just don't tell anyone the story. And I was like, of course not.
Yeah. Only much later.
Much later, I think.
When,
it's fine, yeah.
statutes of limitations on grand auto theft have passed.
Let's Google it.
Okay, we'll Google it
Who knows
and then
what DeSantis has done down there? Oh my God.
Well, welcome to New York.
Thank you so much.
And then, so you got a roommate after doing a little surfing at your friend, the MVP's
That's right. Yeah.
place.
So now we're in like this place off of Myrtle Avenue in like September of 2001. Yeah, and it's a storefront. So there's like this wraparound window, and it has a basement, and we were gonna carve out like rooms in the basement, and there was one like office that was like the main room, which also had like a split level, so we were all basically sleeping in there for the time being.
While you were building out your half pipe? Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was me, Davey, and Steve, when we were looking at the apartment, we're like, or storefront, as some might think of it.
Yes.
We're walking around and we're like, this is great. There's so much space. We got room for the half pipe. We got like 7 rooms we can build in the basement. We'll have like rehearsals here, or we'll build a theater, like all this stuff, right?
Wow.
Big dreams.
Big dreams.
And Steve was like, guys. And we're like, oh, what, Steve? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, guys. And we're like, yeah, Steve, what's the issue, buddy? And he's like, where's the kitchen? And we're like, what? No kitchen? He's like, there's no kitchen. I was like, but there's no kitchen.
No kitchen.
So the guy was like, I'll get you a refrigerator, and then you can use a hot plate. And we're like, yeah, we're not big bakers anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it was like
Yeah.
mid to late 20s.
We probably don't even need the fridge except for the beer, so...
We're gonna need a fridge.
Yeah.
We weren't monsters. I gotta keep my veggies fresh. And my frozen dinners. So we get a fridge.
Mm-hmm. Did he splurge for a microwave for you guys too? Just a hot plate. He get you a hot plate.
I think just a hot plate. Maybe I don't know if we had a microwave. That might have been our own responsibility.
Hot plate and a fridge.
Hot plate and a fridge. And we have this little room that is now the kitchen. And they've been doing work on the apartment next door to us.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Then we have friends coming up to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so our friends are coming up to visit. And they just come up and they went to Astoria to park their car where it would be safer.
Mm-hmm.
They just knew it would be safer in Astoria.
Okay.
That's how people feel.
I mean, you're living under the...
I think I got home first or whatever and saw that we were robbed. Someone had cut a hole into that little office bedroom space.
From where?
From the apartment next door that they were working in.
Oh my God.
So they had cut the hole through the thing, climbed in through there, and stolen the digital camera.
The hot plate.
They didn't take the hot plate.
I can't believe
They
it.
took a 6-pack of Diet Coke. They took bags of change.
Wait, why is there... Oh, for
don't even
laundry
think
or
they took the
something?
TV.
For the... Was the subway still like coin? Coin operated?
Just coins.
Just coins.
coins add up to real money
That's
eventually.
true,
And
it's
they took
true.
the cans. I wonder if they were
They
going to
were
drink
like-
it or they're just
there
going to
was
recycle them. Like,
Just bags and bags of change, and they were like,
yeah, it
"We're
was the most
taking
random
this."
like grab, and my computer had been plugged in behind the bed, so somehow they didn't get it.
Oof,
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
I don't even know. It was probably all my writings. At the
Oh
time.
yes.
I don't know what I was worried about. You know, you always, but it was a computer.
Yeah,
You always want to have one.
those are expensive.
So expensive.
Yeah, you can buy another hot plate, no problem. But the
No
computer,
problem. You can get another bag of change.
you can.
People literally throw away change in the
Yeah,
city.
yeah.
Isn't that so dark?
So they cut in through the apartment
Through the
next door.
drywall, yeah.
Wow.
And then we were like, what are we going to do? And the cops came by and they were like, we call it Murder Avenue. And I was like,
Watch your six on the street.
cool. We were going to have people come in from the city and do rehearsals and auditions out here for plays that we're writing. And so all that just felt a little less like feasible.
Yeah, you were suddenly like, we're not building a stage anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to ask people to come out to Murder Avenue to do
auditions.
We're not going to build a half pipe. And I don't know.
Nah, see, I think that still fits. Like, you could have still built the
No,
half
that
pipe.
would have been, if we had stayed, we would have built that.
Yeah.
I think.
Or Murder Avenue isn't for us.
Murder Avenue
Yeah.
might not be our jam. We felt like okay, but we're like, well, maybe we don't know New York that well or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's on our mind, and they send someone to repair the hole. So the guy's patching the wall, and then the next day, the guy comes to the door and is like, "Hey, I have to go.
The wall patching guy or the landlord?
The wall patching guy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I have to go into the city. My relative or
My drama is happening. Yeah.
someone they know is in the Twin Towers. Or works there.
This is the day.
This
We
is
have
that day.
arrived. Okay.
Yeah. So this is like the 10th, I guess, we got broken into, or the
Yeah.
9th or the 10th, and
Yeah.
then they're patching it, and the guy comes in that morning. So we turn on the TV. And
You had one of those.
They didn't take the TV.
That's nice.
Well, actually, I think the guy was like, turn on the TV. He's like,
Yeah.
turn on the TV. Like, you need to see what's
You
going
don't
on.
know where you are. You're on
we
Murder
were like-
Avenue. Shit's hitting the fan.
Shit's hitting the fan. So we watched like the second tower get hit, I think.
Yeah.
And my friends had planned to go there that day.
Oh, right.
They were planning to go to the Twin Towers, and then they
Oh,
were
wow.
staying with us. They had gotten robbed already since parking their car in Astoria to feel safer.
Oh, no.
During that time, our apartment got robbed, and they got hit because they had their work camera
Oh, man.
and probably some cigarettes. I don't know.
Oh,
and
definitely.
I think it was their Coke.
Yeah. It was their 6-pack of cola.
It was their. Some reason I keep thinking there's only 5 of them, but like I don't know, almost 6-pack. But that was, and then so they were gonna go that day, so that felt like dramatic. And then obviously the guys had family there. I never found out what that story was. I don't know. So we walked all the way up to Greenpoint from Bushwick. And then, of course, no one's cell phones are working, brick or not. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're just become heavy objects in your, or it's all busy signals, and everyone's calling you to see, like, are you okay? Like, and of course, like, yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
Yeah, no one can
area,
find you.
But it's just a crazy day.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
You're just like watching the news and like, so there's this big dark cloud over the day.
Yeah.
And we're suddenly going like, do we still move? Does this still matter that we got broken into?
Yeah.
Do we give that up?
Yeah.
And I think maybe I was like, no. I think we still need to be comfortable. Like, I think we still need to get out of here
Yeah.
and figure this out. And I think everyone sort of agreed, like,
Yeah, if ever there was a time to be like, I want to feel comfortable and safe.
yeah, it
It's
wasn't
that
like,
day.
oh, give up. Yeah, if there's nothing safe. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. Because it does makes you question, like, well, what really matters? Or what do I need to be concerned about now?
Yeah.
But we did move, and then the guy was like, well, yeah, I'm going to have to charge you for the fridge. And we're like, well, then we're going to take the fridge.
You took the fridge.
So we took the fridge.
Yes.
And
If we're paying for it, we're taking it.
and you'll never guess where we moved. To Astoria.
Where it's safer for cars to park overnight.
For everybody to just chill and hang out.
Where bags of coins don't go missing.
Bags of coins can be collected and left on dressers.
That's right.
But we took the fridge.
Of course, you paid for it.
Now we had 2 fridges because most apartments in New York come with a fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, what are we going to do with the second fridge? Like, well, we could have 2 fridges.
Yeah.
But we didn't really need 2 fridges. So we took the fridge that was in the apartment and converted it into an entertainment center. And we put our TV inside the fridge. And we had like a little Nintendo PlayStation.
Did you leave the door on the fridge? So you would like open it up and then there'd be a TV and the Nintendo.
Yes. And upstairs would be like the DVDs
upstairs,
in the freezer.
Upstairs in the freezer.
Upstairs in the freezer.
I love that.
It's so funny. But then when we were moving out, he's like, you have to take the refrigerator with you. We're like, or you have to leave me the
good refrigerator. Yeah.
No problem. We're like, we don't need any more refrigerators.
That's some New York ingenuity right there. I love that.
Yeah.
What do we do with our extra fridge? Obviously, it's an entertainment center.
Yeah, and those guys, we were... They're
behind door number 2.
Second fridge. We loved that. We were like, look, isn't this cool? A little entertainment center.
Well, that's great. So you move here minutes before 9/11.
Mere minutes.
Mere minutes. And then your mom can't get in touch with you on your burner phone. I bet she was having an actual heart attack.
So yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I think I was able to get out at some point or connect with one of my siblings, and
yeah,
I think they were able to.
Yeah, get the word, spread the news. Alan is safe.
Yeah, or maybe I guess most of them were living.
He's just skateboarding in his living room right now.
That would have been the dream. To just grind out all the frustrations of 9/11.
All right, so speaking of the big birthday bash.
Oh my God, why are we speaking about that?
Because it's coming up. Yeah. Alan's gonna turn a nice round number. That's all we're gonna say. Okay, that's it.
A nice round number.
Round number.
Round number.
So I wanted to ask you, what is your current experience of like, here I am, about to turn a round number. My brain is here. My life stage, body-wise, experience-wise too, right, is elsewhere. How are you doing? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, my God. So, getting older, so, yeah, there's part of it. All right, what am I going to say? Blah, blah, blah. Part of it is, like, there's some more acceptance of, like, this is, like, I think that's something I've started to be, like, trying to accept who I am rather than change who I am. Then I can work with who I am rather than like beat myself up because I'm not somebody else. I'm not the way that somebody else is. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, well, this is who you have shown up to be your whole life. Maybe that's your operating pattern.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, can I update the system? I don't know. Some people say, yeah, but like... What if I operate with a system that has gotten me through life so far and try to optimize it rather than scrutinize, right? Embrace it. So I think there's part of it that's like, okay, well, you made it this far. Like
you're doing good. You're looking good.
And I'll continue to do this. You're looking good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, but there's also like part of me that's like, all right. Well, I think the other thing that jumps out is like my eyes. I've had to like start wearing glasses, and I thought that was just gonna be a devastating blow on some level, and it is very frustrating. It gets me very like in my head sometimes, especially like when I don't want to feel old, and suddenly I have to like futz around for where my glasses are and like, oh, I can't read the thing you're showing me. Yeah. Let me just derail this whole conversation while I check all my pockets. You know, like it starts to feel like, oh my God, forget about me. I'll just not look, or I don't need to know. Yeah, I mean, so I get a little self-conscious, but otherwise it's been like, oh yeah, this is something I have to do now, and it makes life a little challenging, but just like different, right? And so you just adapt, and like that's where it's also like you just realize like that's what human beings do. We adapt to the new circumstances. We adapt, and so try to figure out how to way to adapt that fits into society's like view of how people should exist. But like sometimes you're just like, I gotta get by this way, and this is how I'm gonna do it.
I love that though. No, adapting, because you're right. At every life stage, we're adapting to this new body. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm in puberty now. Like I have hair growing places.
I think
you have
like
to adapt.
Well, maybe this has got debunked, but there's this theory that the entire human body is like recycled by every 7 years.
Yeah,
I've
I've heard that before. Yeah.
So in 7 years, it's entirely new stuff, updated parts,
Ooh,
or whatever.
Updated.
But I don't know if that has actually maintained its truth, right? Because you would think if that was the case, we'd be better at dealing with certain diseases, offloading them or something.
Well, at some point, even if everything's adapting, as we are getting older, our cells do start making, like, they're a little twitchy and they made an oopsies.
They get tired.
And they get tired.
They get tired.
So things break down a little bit, even as we're updating, you know?
No, but so that's a big part of it. Like, there is, like, physical changes, I think. Like, you feel like you get tired faster, or, like, you feel certain things more. Like I used to throw my nephews and nieces around, and now they got too big for that. But also,
well, that's their fault. Who let them grow?
Exactly. They were told. Most of them were told not to grow.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just to stay at a cute size, please. But isn't that life? No one listens to anybody, so we just have to let people develop how they're going to develop. I think moving to New York in my late 20s was like a little daunting, and that whole experience was like, oh, it's 2001, boom, everything's set back, you know.
That's fair.
And luckily we had a pandemic to make that feel even more worldwide.
To then make me reset again and question everything again.
All things exist.
I think of it as like a valve release, like, psh.
Anyway,
I've been contemplating this idea that we almost like talk about this stuff in a way that cements it. The way that it says like, this is real, this is what you're doing now, and then rather than being like, how do we valve release the need to have it exist, right? Like, we all have to tolerate each other and accept each other and let each other define themselves. I think that's really my current space, is like, let people tell you who they are, and also reminding myself to tell people who I am, which is like, I'm a comedian, I'm a clown, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a multi-hyphenate annoying podcaster, and I'm an artist, I'm a designer, there's nothing going on. No one's trying to do nothing. Like, there's no drama. Like, just breathe out. Like, let it go. And like, I think that's so important to remind yourself. Like, a lot of this reality's in our heads.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of those people who tells myself I can't do something. But I've absolutely throughout my life told myself that's not what you do. Like, the fact that I have to edit on a computer and use software, all those words hurt my brain just to say, like edit, software, computer, like those are words that threaten my existence somehow.
You wish you were still holding that burner phone, that burner brick.
I wish I was on an island eating a mango that had just dropped from a
American
tree.
Samoa,
like,
please take me back.
Take me back. Let me chill out and live that life. But what I'm saying is, this is me like opening up and being like, I gotta try new things, and this helps to have people who will push you in the right direction. Like, I'm not.
It's okay. You're a person in growth. You are just constantly evolving, changing.
Yes, I'm evolving.
I love
Thank
it.
you. I think that's one of my. Yes, that's one of the things I've been thinking about. People evolving.
And you're doing it too?
And I'm doing it too.
And you're asking people about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Alan, what is your podcast?
You need a narrative. You need something that ties all this stuff all together.
Oh my God, Cydne.
Don't forget, I'll slice and dice it later.
What is my podcast? They just keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixtape of conversations with people who are evolving.
Or if it's like, oh, I will try now the sports, or I will try to knit, or I try to crochet.
I love it.
Is that good?
I think so.
I think evolution is the topic. Thanks for handing that to me, Cydne. Yeah.
Should I let it marinate?
Yeah.
Cool.
That it?
I think it
Are you
is.
done with me?
I had one more question for you, but it's
What
not
is it?
important, and we might save it for the next time you
Oh,
get
really?
interviewed. Don't be more
What
late.
is the question?
None
Is it
of
a big one?
None of your beeswax.
Well, look at your notes.
No, don't even do it. You can't even read my handwriting.
Fine.
Much to my mother's chagrin.
This is your job to edit. So.
Hold on. Don't be pressing buttons. Alan,
Yeah.
say the name of your show one more time.
They just keep talking.
And they don't stop talking.
They just keep talking and they don't stop talking.
They never introduce the show.
They never introduce the show.
Never introduce the show.
They just keep talking.
And I think that's how it ends too.
I think that's how it ends too.
I love it.
And I think that's how it ends too.
Let's go to a birthday party.
You coming?
No.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Well, where am I going with that? I got lost.
Just amusing.
Amusing. It's amusing.
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 And amusing.
I was just musing. Oh, okay.
Thank you for listening. I want to thank my podcast trainer, Cydne, for showing up and being on the show. We started a couple months ago putting this together. I was putting this together on my own, and I wanted to interview Cydne as a dog trainer or talk, have a conversation with her. And she ended up becoming the podcast trainer as we know her today. And if evolution is part of this, then Cydne's evolution as curious onlooker to podcast trainer is complete. I'm so grateful to have collaborated this way with you, and I feel like we're building something, and it's been so great to have everyone who has been a guest on the show come through.
Heidi, Roth, my new friend, Viraj.
Let's talk about it all night, whatever the show is called.
You identify as a comedian?
A clown, I would say.
Hi, Rainey.
Yo.
Jason is an actor.
Some variation of IzoldaT.com, you will find me.
This is Dallas Taylor, a new friend of mine.
Did you grow up in an ingredient household or
What's an ingredient household?
like we open the fridge and there's only ingredients?
Yeah. All right. We're not just saying that's an amusing little anecdote.
Yeah.
It's amusing. Okay, let's see.
It's time for sleep or to get to work. But before we do that, I do want to say we will be back sometime in April, I believe, for season 2. We will be telling stories of how we got here, including immigration stories.
Surprise.
There's no
Gotcha
surprise.
question.
I told Alan the immigration
Nothing.
story was coming.
So if you have something you want to share, send us an email at theyjustkeeptalking@gmail.com.
Or something. I mean, this will expand, I think, long term.
Oh, I'll be
Okay.
slicing and dicing, don't worry.
On the Slice and Dices, it's Cydne.
That's right.
Be lucky if we even hear her voice.
You might be onto
We do
something.
not have group notes.
We do.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. This is so weird. This is fun talking to you like
Hi.
this.
Get it out of here. Cut. Cut, cut, cut.